So what would you think in competitive mode if Crypto had his drone out and you pushed his ult and it turned into a Titan? Would that be fair?
It turned into a Titan?
Yeah, Titan from Titanfall. It just turned into a full Titan and you could go inside it.
I never played Titanfall, but I do remember like watching videos of Titanfall, and I think that'd be a little too much. I think
a little too much? Are you sure? No.
Yeah. I think
Are you sure?
A tiny bit too much.
Maybe think about it. What do you think?
Tiny bit.
A little too much?
It'd be really cool, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe not for Apex.
Maybe not for. You're right. You're right.
Crypto's a non-meta pick.
I'm taking shots.
They're landing on us. Oh, I'm in the portal.
in competitive play, and right now we were having some success with him at the start when we first started running Crypto and tried to challenge the meta and how people were playing, but recently we've been struggling and we're still trying to figure it out. There is a big tournament this weekend, that ALGS Summer Circuit 4, and I think we'll still be running Crypto for that. We're still trying to figure that out. But yeah, I guess I'm a full-time aerospace engineer.
Oh wow.
40 hours, and I guess when I come home I play Apex all day, so that's kind of my life, is just do engineering stuff during the day and then come home and compete, do tournaments, scrims, practice, things like that.
Oh my god, you're like you're a full-time aerospace engineer, and then on top of that you're like you're like a freaking competitive Apex player. That's amazing. So tell me more about okay, so like how you guys use Crypto. Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Got him.
Oh, you're working this, man.
I'm okay. I'm competent. I'm not great, but I'm competent.
Okay.
Oh god, there's another one right here. Sorry, I didn't see it right. What would you like? What kind of change? Because like so many people ask me, they're like, "What would you like to see your Crypto's change?" I'm like, dude, I'm just a voice actor, man. I love the video game, and I love gaming, but I'm not a pro. I'm the wrong person to ask. So I think this is a really good opportunity for people that are listening to hear this. So as a pro, like what would you like to see? What kind of changes would you like to see in Crypto, or what? You know, something that you've always wanted or thought would be good, or like, you know, somewhat balanced, or whatever it may be, out of curiosity.
Honestly, I think Crypto's in a really good state to be, at least in competitive like play. Like I think in pubs it's kind of hard because, again, like Crypto's a very team-oriented character, and if you have the teammates, then Crypto's just kind of be useless in pubs, I guess. But one thing I've always wanted was, if Crypto EMPs himself, he takes shield damage, right?
Right.
I wish they would take that out of the game,
right?
Out of his mechanics. But I think it's kind of just a balance towards him,
right?
You know, because EMP is incredibly strong, but you have to consider that for a small time, you're kind of 2v3 in a fight, because I have to wait until EMP goes off and I can't be in the radius of the fight.
Right.
And Crypto's EMP is pretty massive, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes it takes me like 5 to 6 seconds to get in the fight, and 5 to 6 seconds when you're fighting 2v3 at the, you know, top level is a lot of time for things to go south.
Okay.
I already know that there's only one other guy up there, but you know, like let's say we're in threes and we killed one, like, you know, some might assume that it's two people, but you know, I could fly my drone up here and kind of scout and say, okay, it's only one.
Right.
You know, this is going to be a 3v1 situation. Let's push up this rope and kill him and then take the high ground, because holding this spot in a competitive play where there's circles around this area is a really, really good spot to hold.
Right.
But if it was two, you know, maybe I might be a little more hesitant to take the zip line. So it's just like using his drone to feed yourself as much information as possible is Crypto's like biggest utility, in my opinion.
So I feel like people get upset because he's one of those, he's a non-passive character, and everything that he does is active, right? And so would you change anything about that, or would you like to see any changes?
Oh, you got that? I believe you.
Got it. Yay!
Yes, self-revive.
I will get you now.
So like in that situation, you know, like it's like, okay, there's one guy, I'm just gonna EMP them, and then I would send my teammates up the zip line, for when that EMP goes off, or kind of coordinate it so you're at the top of the zip line when that thing goes off, so we can't do anything about it. Just kind of small things like that.
Okay. All of Crypto's abilities are active, right? So you have to actively be droning or actively set up so that you have, you know, like when you EMP, like you have to set everything up, and it's like, I guess a lot of people are like, man, there's a lot of work that happens. Would you want to see any passive abilities or anything like that for Crypto?
Well, couldn't you argue that a lot of the other characters don't have like their passives aren't passive? So like for instance, I guess Pathfinder, his passive is the beacon scans, right? So you still have to make like an active effort to go find a beacon and put yourself at risk of being shot at, because you know, like when you scan beacon, you're standing still for 5 seconds or whatever it is. I guess like what other characters? I guess I could see what you're saying, or what you're kind of getting at.
Oh no, just this isn't a personal question. It's just curious. Like if you had, if you could change anything. If Respawn was like, "Hey Tech, you're awesome, man. We like that you're playing with Crypto. Hey man, so you want to come over to Respawn, and what would you like to see?" Is just kind of like my question.
That's a tough question.
Or is he just perfect?
I honestly think he's in a really good state. Like
wow, look at that.
I think that, like, again, I know, you know, in pubs and stuff he's not the greatest, but at competitive level, if you're on a team with excellent coordination and communication, he is really strong in the right hands. But one thing that people brought up was he's kind of a recon or scout character. So people argue that he should be able to scan beacons. And that's why Pathfinder is kind of a dominant pick, or has a high pick rate in competitive, is because he has the ability to scan beacons. And if you can scan beacons, then you have, you know, the next circle, which is good for you, because at the end of the day, you want to have the best positioning, put yourself in the best spot to win the game, which is what Pathfinder provides you.
Right. So what you're pretty much saying is what I confirmed when I told Respawn that I am the star of the show. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Wow, pro player live on stream says I'm the star of the show. I'm just joking. But yeah. So who did you main before Crypto?
Wraith.
Okay, yeah. I feel like a lot of like those, you know, people in tournaments, Wraith is a big heavy hitter, right?
Yeah, Wraith is, I think, a near 100% pick rate in competitive.
Wow.
So almost every team has a Wraith on their team. I can't think of a team that doesn't have Wraith on their team, because Wraith is just a really well-rounded, strong character.
So what would you think in competitive mode if Crypto had his drone out and you pushed his ult and it turned into a Titan? Would that be fair?
It turned into a Titan?
Yeah, Titan from Titanfall. It just turned onto a full Titan and you could go inside it.
I never played Titanfall, but I do remember like watching videos of Titanfall, and I think that'd be a little too much. I think
a little too much. Are you sure?
No. Yeah. I think
are you sure?
A tiny bit too much.
Maybe think about it. What do you think?
Tiny bit.
A little too much.
It'd be really cool, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe not for Apex.
Maybe not for. You're right.
Yeah.
I was pushing it. You're right. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. So tell me like how you guys use Crypto as like, you know, as like, you know, as like pros or whatever, like on the circuit, or like why you like him, or like how you use him, or tips, or any of that.
The reason why I wanted to implement Crypto in competitive.
We got a special guest here, guys. We got Tech.
Crypto's scouting ability. So, have you watched any competitive play at all by chance?
No, I just play the game. You know what I mean?
Sure. Normally, how people scout for spots is they use Wraith. So people will do something called spot check, where they'll teleport from their spot, and they see a spot with their eyes, and they're like, "Oh, I think that's open. Let's try and play that." And you know, they use their portal, and they get there, and maybe someone's hiding, waiting for them, and it's unexpected, you know. But if you have your drone, for instance, you can just sit there in your spot, and you can scout it. You can like, okay, it's like, oh, I see a spot over there.
Yeah.
Can we check if we could play it? And you go over there, you scout it, you look around, and you kind of like build an image in your head of where teams are and like how things are going to play out. So that's why I like the crypto drone, because it gives you so much information that you can't get with any other character in the game. If you find like an isolated fight where it's just 3v3 and no other team is going to come and fight you afterwards, which is called a third party. It should be a guaranteed fight every time. So usually before I take a fight, I like to pull out my drone, look at the banner, see how many teams are around. And like, let's say there's 2 teams around, and I want to spot check and find where those 2 teams are, because if I need to take a fight, I kind of want to get an idea in my head, like, okay, if I fight this team right in front of me, and I know the other team's there, and I know there's only 2 teams in like the vicinity, I probably have about like 10 to 15 seconds before the third team comes and tries to fight us and clean up. Let's say you push a team with 3 white shields. When EMP goes off, I'll see that and I'll call like white,
Oh.
and that should let my teammates know immediately that they're all 100 health, because with the white shield you have 100 health plus 50 shields. But since EMP takes it off, and that kind of just builds confidence in your teammates. Like if you say white, and you have like triple purple, it'll make your teammates and yourself that much more confident that you'll win the fight. And it's additional intel, you know.
So if it's like, do you say like white, blue, purple like that, or like white, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.